Recruitment is a mix of process and decision making. You cannot reach an effective and timely hiring decision without planning for it. The state of Vermont has protocols and tools to support the process and also ensure that the final outcome is sound. This training provides a brief overview of what hiring managers can do to be ready for a successful recruitment process when the need arises. Recruiting and selecting a new hire is a process that requires planning. Just as you wouldn't start to build a house without first planning the budget, the design, size, location, compliance with local building codes, selection of materials and builder, your recruitment plan requires preparation in order to avoid delays and errors. Your plan to successfully fill your vacant position has 3 phases. Before you actually recruit, you need a clear understanding of what the position entails. This includes any changes that may be anticipated. It would be short-sighted to focus only on the most urgent tasks of today and fail to account for future shifts in priorities. Your position description will be the foundation for identifying the skills and knowledge that will be needed to successfully perform those duties. Once you've defined the position requirements and posted it, your planning continues with a realistic time budget for reviewing applications and holding interviews. Your plan also needs to address how you will make decisions during your selection process. Your recruitment process does not end with the offer, and neither does your plan. You must prepare ahead in order to ensure that your new hire is successfully integrated into the position and your organization. Using our home building analogy, your contractor needs to know details about your house plans before he can give you a bid and tell you how he would bring your dream home into reality. In the same way, your prospective applicants need to know the position objectives in order to determine if they are interested and qualified to apply. As an employer, it is difficult to find the best qualified candidate for your position if you haven't articulated the most important job requirements. For examples, refer to pages 8 through 10 of the Guide to Interviewing and Reference Checking located on the DHR website. So, the first part of your recruitment plan is to gather information about the position itself. Why does the position exist? Are there changes planned in your organization that will affect the purpose of the position? To identify the job duties, review any existing documentation that you have about the position, including the current description and performance expectations. It might be helpful to talk with other employees or supervisors who are familiar with the job. You may also do some analysis of critical incidents. Critical incidents are stories that describe what ineffective versus effective workers do in job-related situations. These analytical tools are described in more detail in the Guide to Interviewing and Reference Checking. From the job duties, you can then determine the job requirements or competencies. These are the characteristics and behaviors that you would expect to see a successful candidate or employee demonstrate in the job. Do this before you recruit so that you can make any changes that are needed to the job description or minimum qualifications. You may also identify preferred qualifications to include in the job posting. This work can also be helpful in writing an overview or ad language. Once you've finalized your job description and posted the position, your project plan shifts to the actual selection process. Your timeline should include when you will block out time in your calendar to review applications and the dates that are set aside for interviews. Assembling your interview panel and booking these times as soon as you know the application deadline is essential to keeping the interest of your best candidates. During this phase, you also need to book sufficient time to develop your interview plan and determine your selection criteria, which will be based on the job requirements you listed in Phase 1. It is also important to make sure that all of the interested parties have a shared understanding of how the final hiring decision will be made. Your hiring process does not end when you've made the offer. It is crucial to plan ahead for your new hire to feel welcome and productive from the beginning. This includes ensuring that you have a workstation ready for the individual, that you have a training plan, and that you have meaningful assignments to ensure quick wins from the first day on the job. The first few weeks and months are also an important period to ensure that priorities for the position are clearly understood by all parties and that the new hire is making reasonable progress. The Recruitment Services staff has a variety of resources on the Department of Human Resources website to assist hiring managers in planning and conducting the recruitment process. From the DHR homepage, choose Staffing, and then choose Recruitment and Selection. We have sections on advertising, using VTHR for recruitment and applicant management, best practices in selection and hiring, and managing your job opening. We have extensive documentation on our website regarding recruitment policies and best practices, and Human Resources staff are always glad to provide guidance. The key elements of the process are summarized here and on the next 3 slides. All classified positions are posted through our online system for a minimum of 10 business days, and candidates must apply online in order to be considered for each position. Hiring managers have a key role in the recruitment process, from initiating the job opening to making a verbal offer. Human Resources will provide the list of applicants for the position. No action may be taken on any applicant until that list is received from HR. Screening, interviewing, and selecting candidates is a major activity that is covered in detail in supervisory training and the guide to interviewing mentioned previously. While the hiring manager will most often discuss a conditional offer verbally with the finalist for a position, the actual offer is made in writing and accepted through the VTHR system. This allows the hire to flow directly from the application system into job data. Detailed guidance on how to conduct your interview and selection process is provided in supervisory training and the guide to interviewing and reference checking. The fundamental procedures for the hiring manager relate to interviewing, record keeping, and due diligence. The expectations are summarized in the next 3 slides. Conduct your interviews using a panel that reflects the diversity that you are striving for organizationally. A mix of men and women, age groups, ethnicity, and personality types is crucial for good decision making and also to enable a variety of candidates to envision themselves working with you. It is also an expectation that you will use a structured interview process, which means using the job analysis process described earlier, preparing job-related questions that are asked of all candidates, preparing the interview team, and evaluating candidates on the basis of a predetermined set of criteria. Recruitment records are kept in both VTHR and hard copy files. VTHR is the system of record for the job posting, the applications, candidates who were selected for interview, and the formal offer. Additionally, all written documents related to the interview and selection process, including your notes, must be retained at the hiring manager level for a minimum of 3 years. Once you have selected a finalist, and before you make an offer, you are expected to get outside information about the candidate. Reference checking is an important part of the process. Additionally, there are record check requirements that must be met. Please check with your HR representative to verify the checks that are applicable to your hiring scenario. As we mentioned at the beginning of this presentation, filling a position vacancy is a significant project and should be managed accordingly. We began with the analogy of building a home, which requires planning and knowledge before you begin. Likewise, your recruitment project will be faster and more effective when you start with a blueprint, understand your requirements, set a timeline, and ensure that you know the procedures you must follow. This quote from Stephen Covey captures the essence of successful project management, which is to begin with a plan and an understanding of what your successful outcome will look like. Thank you for your time, and please don't hesitate to contact your HR representative or the staff in recruitment services for any questions that you may have regarding your recruitment needs.